today we are going to be talking about how to effectively meal plan and save money at the grocery store. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Victoria and this is Time and Tenderness. Like I mentioned in my little bit of an intro, we are going to be talking about how to meal plan and save money while at the grocery store. Today I have 5 tips for you, so let's jump right into it. So my first tip is to shop your pantry and refrigerator and freezer first before you go to the grocery store, before you start making your grocery list. And actually, in fact, as you are making your grocery list, I want you to go over to your refrigerator and freezer and pantry and take a look through everything. Oftentimes we forget what we have, and when we forget what we have, we end up double buying, and that is a waste of money. I know personally, I always have a quick go-to easy meal in the fridge and pantry and freezer. Just the combination of those 3 places, I can always find something to scrounge up to eat. So when I go to the refrigerator, freezer, pantry first, I can usually come up with a couple meals that I don't even need to buy any ingredients for. Now, my second tip is to utilize frozen produce. There is this belief that you should buy only fresh produce and that the nutrition and flavor is better, but actually that is just a myth. Not even a myth, it's actually not true. What we don't realize, at least here in the United States, is that when a crop is grown, it's usually grown out of state. So I live in Maryland and a lot of our lettuce and produce comes from Virginia. So what they're going to do is they're going to pick the produce before it reaches peak ripeness or peak freshness, and then they're going to allow it to ripen in transit, or they will use synthetic means to ripen it. I think with peppers and bananas, they use gas, a certain type of gas, to ripen things faster. So when you have a vegetable, a piece of produce that has not had a chance to stay on its plant as long as possible, it's missing out on absorbing as much nutrients as possible from the soil. Now, on the flip side, when it comes to frozen vegetables, what happens with those is those vegetables are allowed to stay on their plant or stay on the vine as long as possible, so that it is picked at peak freshness, and then it is immediately washed and flash frozen within a matter of hours from being picked. So because it is allowed to stay on the plant or on the vine longer, it obviously absorbs so much more nutrients from the soil. Now, I can't tell you how many times that I have purchased a pound of fresh green beans on a Thursday to cook on Tuesday, only to have it spoil by Sunday. And when that happens, it is extremely frustrating. It feels like you're just blowing money away. And not only do you feel like you're blowing money away, but it is food waste, and we don't really want to waste food. It's not good to do that. But with frozen produce, it lasts a whole lot longer. It just stays fresh in your freezer a lot longer, for months, sometimes even over a year. Now I'm going to be looking at my notes here, but just for an example, I looked this up. But at my local Aldi, fresh French green beans are $3.29 for a pound. Now, when I look at the French green beans that are frozen, those are $2.55. So you're actually saving money even more so by purchasing the frozen, because it is even cheaper than buying fresh. Now, point number 3 is probably going to be a no-brainer to many, and that is to check expiration dates. Always try to pick out products that have the furthest possible expiration date. That way, when it sits in your pantry or in your freezer or in your refrigerator, it stays fresh longer. Now, I know some people have some strong opinions about expiration dates, and that they feel that expiration dates are just best by dates or use by dates, and some people listen to them, some people don't. But as a general rule of thumb, you do want to look for that date that is furthest possible away. That way you know that it is good at your home. Also, when you bring home those products from the store, you want to organize your refrigerator, pantry, freezer in a way that those products that have the dates that are the furthest away are stored in the back, and the products that have the dates that are coming up closer are in the front. That way you use what's in the front first, and it gets to be nice and evenly rotated out. Number 4 is to make anything you can from scratch. Now, there is a hot debate nowadays whether making food from scratch is worth it or not, because a lot of people equate the time to also the expense of cooking. So if it takes a long time, some people say that that's too expensive of a process to do rather than just buy something. And to that extent, I agree. Now, I'm not telling everybody that they need to immediately start making everything from scratch, but if you could pick one thing that you could get good at and start making from scratch, you'll find that it might save you a little bit of money. Say, for instance, you already own a bread machine. Could you possibly look up a few recipes and maybe set it to bake bread overnight while you're sleeping? You'll find that small changes like that might start to save a few extra cents here and there. And another small change you can make is, say, like mac and cheese. I know a lot of us like the pre-packaged like Annie's or Kraft mac and cheese, but could you possibly just boil a little bit of your own macaroni and then melt a few cubes of Velveeta cheese with some milk? Small changes like that might be able to save you a few extra cents at the grocery store. And lastly, my fifth tip is to not be scared of leftovers. Now, this is something I personally have been trying my hardest to get used to. When I was younger, I had a really bad experience with leftovers. I got sick, I saw something that was really gross, and it just put me off forever, where something in my brain thinks that leftovers are bad. But they are not bad, and they are a great way to utilize to make sure that you cut down on food waste as well as save money in the long run. Once or twice a week, I try to make a meal that I know will yield a lot of leftovers. After I cook that meal, we sit down and eat. I wait until the meal cools off, and then I put it away in containers according to food safety guidelines. Then we set aside those leftovers to either have as lunch periodically throughout the week or to have a free night from dinner. And what do I mean by a free night from dinner? That doesn't mean we're not eating dinner. It just means that I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning. We just eat out of the glass takeout containers that I put everything in, and we throw it all in the dishwasher afterwards. Super easy. A few bonus tips I have from you is to really utilize social media and Pinterest to come up with new ideas for things to make at home. I really like to utilize Pinterest just to get ideas and get myself out of a rut for what to make for dinner. I try and look at recipes and look at their recipe card and see which meals I already have the most ingredients for. Those are the meals that are obviously going to be a winner because it means I have to spend less money at the store. Let me know if you have any additional tips or tricks for saving money at the grocery store. I am very excited, guys, to announce that I have a new ebook that will be available for purchase soon. This new ebook is called The Beginner's 7. It is an e-cookbook. It will contain 7 of my family's favorite super easy, super simple, and super nutritious weeknight dinners. The ebook will not only include the full recipe and ingredients list, but I will also include a grocery shopping list. My goal with this e-cookbook is to help the beginner cook to easily come up with 7 different meals so that they can have an exciting week of food for their family. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!